Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV podcast live, as always, here at Anarchy Brewery, and we'll be here tomorrow night as well. Yeah. Quick plug for the Old England semi-final, which, of course, we will preview at the end of tonight's episode. We're obviously a little bit earlier tonight than the usual 7 p.m. slot because we know every single one of you will be turning off at 8 o'clock for the first semi-final.
Get it out of the way for you.
Spain versus France. So we'll get this out of the way for you. Obviously, we want to watch it as well. We'll be dashing home. So, but if you want to look for somewhere to watch the big game tomorrow night, head over to Anarchy Brewery. Head over to our social media as well, the Magpie Channel. You can get your tickets on there. The link is in our story. For a £5, secure your seats here. If you first come, first serve, mate, make it a bit busy for that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that includes a pint as well for that £5. And 2 big projectors. I'm here, and they've got the big giveaway as well on social media. So if you buy a ticket for tomorrow's game, you get an automatic entry into the final. So a table for 4 is part of the prize, and 4 drinks. 2 of those T-shirts up there that you can't see because it's not in shot, but it is the Wade Anarchy Brewery Euro T-shirts. And most importantly, the best prize of all, 24 cans of Anarchy Brewery. 20 bloody 4
Jesus.
Loads of different variations. I've got the video nasty there that I'm pouring soon.
Cheat code, one of the best.
One of the best, one of the favourites. Obviously, you got your war beers, everything else. So, listen, it's worth the £5 itself just to buy a ticket and get invited into the prize. And at half time, I'll be drawing the winner here live in the tap room. So, yeah, Anarchy Brewery tomorrow night for the semi-final. Looking forward to it. We'll preview that game in the next hour or so. Loads of Newcastle United news, as always. Transfer news popping up left, right, and centre.
Not as much as last week.
No, thankfully not, because we're in a hurry. So it would have been knackered if it was last week.
Rammed last week.
Aye, rammed last week. So shout out Brent, who's in there, who's a member. Aaron, lads. Aaron, who's in there as always, evening. John as well. Bonjour, lads. Please don't say the jinx phrase. It's coming, I feel like a 2-1 tomorrow, then move on to Spain in the final. That's pretty much the same as my prediction, to be fair. And we'll get into all your questions as the show goes on. But let's dive in to the first topic, which is actually going to be changed because what we'll talk about now is the breaking news today, which is the rumour of Jarrod Bowen to Newcastle United. Apparently, he is our priority target, Keg. So, could it happen? So we're going to start off with, and let us know in the comments, should it happen, would you like it to happen? Jarrod Bowen to Newcastle United.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, and we did actually touch on it a few weeks ago. I can't remember when, maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that, because he is a name that's been linked around the Premier League, I think. But yeah, particularly with us, obviously right wing is a huge position of need. That is his primary position, although he is versatile, played down the middle a lot last season for West Ham. But yeah, I would like it personally. If I look through some of the comments, and there's a mixed bag, there's a mixed variety of comments in there. Some favourable, some not. For me, I think it's because he's English, but it just doesn't sound sexy.
Nah,
but people want to go abroad and get like the next big thing from like France or Spain or Germany or something like that. But the perk for me is that he is English. He's proven, scored, I don't know, more than 15 goals. I can't remember exactly how many.
Great record at West Ham, hasn't he?
He's got a tremendous amount of goals. He played a fair few down the middle, but even like from the wider position, right wing, massive upgrade over Miggy. Price tag maybe is a little bit questionable. If we can haggle it a little bit and narrow it down a few, then yeah, I'm for it. But I think I feel between 60, 70 million. I'd be okay with 60, you know. 70 is a bit of a stretch, I think. I wouldn't really feel overly comfortable about 70 million, but 60, absolutely. I've seen some people criticizing his age and all. He's 27, he'll be 28 next year, but I think that's a fine age. Like,
still got a good 4 years there.
Yeah, and like people think about people in their late 20s, early 30s as being absolute dinosaurs. Like once you cross the 30 mark, you're getting onto the latter end of your career, no doubt, but he's fucking 27. Like, he's a fine age. Like it means he's...
Great age.
It means he's in his prime. It means he's already hit the ground running, already Premier League proven, great age, doesn't need development. Whereas if you went, say, Spain and got the next potential best 21, 22-year-old, it takes time to adapt to the Premier League for anybody. Like the Premier League's the hardest league in the world, but especially someone so young that has time to develop into that prime, you're looking at them being a key player in 2-3 years' time, whereas Bowen's ready to go now. Like he's proven he can score goals, play in this league, England international, good age. I'm not concerned about the age or the price tag as long as it's around about the 60 million mark or less. I think it'd be a brilliant signing.
I do as well. I get the age thing from people if they had an injury concern over him, but he always seems to be fit and firing
like
for
he's
me.
got a history now.
Yeah, he's always on it. His fitness seems to be right up there. His games ratio to goals to assists. He would honestly, I don't think we've mentioned him that much because it just seems a bit out of reach, doesn't it? Because of the price tag and because Mr. West Ham. And I think it's hilarious. All these people are saying, he's not coming here, man. I won't let him. He's following
well, yeah, there is that element of it and all. Like you say, he is Mr. West Ham, but he's a northern lad. I'm sure he's from Hull, anywhere
he wanted to come here as well.
Yeah, he did.
We were his first choice before he went to West Ham.
Like people like Kieran Trippier and stuff chose like northern moves because it's closer to home. But yeah, like that is a big part of it. Maybe London is his home now. Like you say, he's got twins with Danny Dyer Jr. That's where her career will mostly be, being an influencer / reality star or whatever the fuck she is. I think she's got brands or endorsement shite where most of her work will be from London.
Very nice big brandies, I'd imagine.
And obviously, Danny Dyer Senior's Mr. West Ham, like he loves him. Like, I know they've got a good relationship. So yeah, it'll be hard for family reasons to move on, but at the end of the day, like he's the breadwinner here. Like, yes, she may have a career in endorsements and brands and stuff and make her own fair bag, and so will her dad. Like, her dad's probably not shy of a few pennies, but being a professional footballer is better than working on fucking EastEnders or being on Love Island this one time 6 years ago. So if he wants to move anywhere in the world, doesn't even have to be Newcastle, it could be fucking Spain. If he wants to go somewhere and earn more money, focus on his career. He's 27, so he's only got about 10 years at best out of his peak. He's never going to get an opportunity like this again. A contract like this isn't going to come around very many more times once you get past 30. So why wouldn't you cash in now? Like, get your money, move up north. He's from Hull, a couple hours away. It's closer to his family. Yeah, he might have set up shop in London now and be happy. That's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't rule it out like at all. Like, yeah, it could be a good move for everybody.
I think he'd want to move, I think if you could offer him, I know, listen, he is a bit of a legend at West Ham, even because he scored that goal in the Conference League final.
Won a European competition.
So they love him there, and we've talked about the family links and everything. But I'm telling you what, as a footballer, as coming into his prime, then prime years, he's only got a few years left at the top, at the peak. So I think if you had an offer on the table, go Newcastle United were in the Champions League last year, should be pushing that again this year, top 4, top 5,
We've got
top
more
6.
chance than they have.
West Ham, who got a new manager now. Obviously, they lost Declan Rice the other day. They're going to lose Paqueta to a ban, or he's meant to be going back to Brazil and all these rumours. So that Newcastle should finish above West Ham United. That Newcastle should have a better chance of winning the trophy than West Ham United.
Our future's bright, definitely.
Better
when
the
project was
everything really.
When the
even though I like West Ham
transfer was, how long has he been there? When were we going to sign him? We were going to sign him in January, didn't we?
Actually, times it was 2018.
18 was it?
2018-19 because it was Amaron, wasn't it? We ended up with Miggy instead of Jarrod Bowen.
Was that? Yeah, was it? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. So yeah, we'll link with them back then. We both pushed for it back then when he was at Hull playing in the Championship. Really good prospects, like playing really, really well for Hull. Yeah, we were disappointed. I think that was a key moment where, well, it wasn't the moment. It was one of many moments where we thought this team's got no fucking ambition. Mike Ashley, Lee Charnley, Steve Bruce. Like, probably what didn't you have Bruce then? It was probably still Rafa, but it just shows like it was more the money because I think Hull wanted a fair bag and Ashley just wouldn't have paid for it.
No.
And that we thought, like, we can't lose out on this player because it did seem like there was a mutual interest. He did want the move, and we seemed keen on him. All the fans seemed keen on him. And West Ham nicked in front of her. And in fairness to Jarrod Bowen, you can't blame him. At that time, that was the better move for him and his career because he's got a European trophy out of it.
Even though he openly said he wanted to join Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, West Ham at that time were showing a lot more ambition and were definitely a much better prospect for him and the development of his career. I hold no grudges. He did make the right move. But now, we're the better move.
Yeah.
Times have changed. So now it's time to flip that and continue the development of your career, and that's Newcastle.
Issue is as well, he's got a 6-year contract.
Is he? Still?
6 years left on his
Bloody
deal. So it's
must have got a new contract then if he signed, 5-6 years ago?
So the problem is that, and all West Ham fans will be seeing this, I'm sure they'll be commenting on this video afterwards if they're not watching now. They'll be seeing that no chance we want 100 million from him. That's the talking now. They'd want.
I mean,
north of 80.
we say that. We've said that for Gordon,
Isaac, Bruno.
yeah, all of them. Not like there are key players, and he's one of theirs. So I agree. You don't want to let them go cheap. And as I touched upon last week, you don't buy players at market price. Not key players anyway. No. Teams that don't want to sell their prized assets aren't going to sell at market price. You need to come out with an offer that they're going to accept. And for me, I don't know what Bowen's realistic transfer value would be. I'd go maybe 50.
I'd say about 60.
Maybe 60.
Yeah,
so
in this
you're
day
going to have to pay more than 60. I think 100 million is an absolute fucking liberty and you can jog on. But if we go for maybe 70, then yeah. But if they're going to hold out for 80, then I wouldn't pay it. I'd look elsewhere.
No, I agree. I reckon realistically, you wouldn't want to pay much more than 55, 60.
No, 60 would be my top offer.
I think West Ham would probably want about 75, 80 at least. I don't think they'd be able to expect the Declan Rice money of 100 million because of the age and whatnot. But I think they would want around 70, 80 million. And to be honest with you, in this day and age, when you look at these goal scoring record, Premier League proven, like you said, England international, he has been getting off the bench and stuff, even with that position being tough to get into with your Sakas, your Palmers and everyone. So his fee is going to be high, and I think I would be surprised it's happened because of that. And because I think he probably is quite settled.
And there's probably going to be some other interest in all. Like, he's a fantastic player. So it's ludicrous to think that Newcastle's the only interested party.
Even Liverpool have been interested.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, there's going to be a lot of top interest in him because he's a top player. So whoever's going to pay the most money that West Ham are comfortable accepting, then that's up to you. But I don't know how much we would be willing to go up to. Like, let's say 70 at most. I'd feel a little uncomfortable paying for it, to be honest. But if we could negotiate and get it for around about the 60 mark, then. If I had Merdad's checkbook and Mandy was away on holiday, left man in charge,
maybe having a good time.
I'd be putting that 60 million down right now. If I thought that was going to get the deal done, like Merdad's in charge, Mandy's gone on holiday, left him in charge. West Ham's going to accept 60 million. Bang. Oh, Mandy, something might have happened while you've been away.
Like the Home Alone scene, innit? You spent $470 on room service? Murder, you spent 100 million on Jarrod Bowen.
Sorry about that, man.
Got to carry me on that one, man. You had a few too many cheat codes, you know what I mean? A few too many anarchy pints. Let's just get a quick feel of how you are feeling in the chat. Bowen, yes, 100% goal assist effort. Bowen is too old for our usual remit. No sell-on value. That's also true because, the club and Eels have mentioned that with the likes of the signings of Isaac, Gordon, Botman and stuff. And obviously we're seeing it with Minter most recently, selling him on straight away. I would love Bowen. Can't see us paying 100 million though, says Alan.
Nah, I ain't paying 100 million.
Nah. The whole double Danny Dyer thing with the Hammers would stop us from getting them, says John. Get me in Buemo, says Aaron. You know the score. We've been saying that. Brent would be a mint signing, but never going to happen. Too expensive. How's Brexit, Mags? Just being linked with Jonathan David from Lille.
We did just say that
move
before.
On to him, shall we? Let's move on to Jonathan David from Lille, as that was
just seen that before it went on coming live.
As we've clicked the camera to record there. So Jonathan David from Lille, I am a huge fan of that rumour. It's from Ben Jacobs, who's hit and miss. He's got lots of followers. Seems to get some things right on Twitter. Some things can be, throw in the wind. But for me, Jonathan David, I'd happily take that.
Yeah. I don't know what the transfer fee would be.
Exactly.
I'd imagine it being fair amount, and he'd be coming in here probably to be number 2. We still don't know what Callum Wilson's future is like. Maybe he's going to move on. But we should be having 3 strikers. So whether we keep Wilson or not, I don't know. But David would absolutely be Isaac's backup.
Oh, yeah.
But how much are you going to pay for a backup? That's the thing. Canadian international, banging goals in. 24 years old, banging goals in the French league. Look, I would absolutely have him as my number 2. But would I pay 40 million for number 2? I don't know.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a good age, and he could still develop. So it's maybe worth it, man. I mean, the market's the market these days. I can't work out the market. I'm still stuck in the 2001. Zinedine's down 45 million. World record fee.
Every time he plays, about 3 million.
Yeah, I cannot fathom £40 million for a second choice striker. But the market's the market.
It is like.
And we do need to.
Calvert-Lewin was linked for probably 30-odd million money, so Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, it's not a bad one, whatever the fee. If it's 40 million, more, less, I don't know. But I like the link. I'm not mad at the link. Great age. Could be a sell-on value if he hits the ground running in the Premier League. touch wood, Isaac gets an injury, which he's had, or even worse, gets sold, like he's a cracking option, to be fair. And if we do get back into Europe next year, more rotation, get a proper third choice striker, rotate them 3. Woo! Lovely. Big fan of that.
No, I am as well. And David's been linked with the move to the Premier League for a while. He's been on the radar for a couple of years, and I think it's a matter of time before, if we don't snap him up, somebody else does, then we'll see what he's made of. But in terms of an option for Newcastle as well, he really suits what we're after, because he is versatile. He can play across the front 3. You know, he's played on both flanks, played down the middle. Yeah, exactly. Pacey, getting behind, hard work rate. So I do like that link, because we've had loads of players rumoured for centre-backs and right wing and goalkeepers. Not many really standout names for strikers. No. When I seen that Jonathan David one, I was thinking, that's a good show, actually.
All we've heard is selling Wilson, but then we've got one striker. Fucking
Calvert-Lewin's the only one that's
Calvert-Lewin's being the only link, which isn't the sexiest, and we're pulled out with that one before it was even hot news.
Thankfully.
Thankfully. But yeah, we do need a striker, regardless of Wilson's future. I've said every single week that we need 3 strikers, and it probably looks likely that Wilson might be sold. We're not still too sure on that yet, but regardless, we need at least 1 striker, 2 if Wilson goes. So yeah, we need some links, and more than links, we need some fucking signatures on some contracts.
Now, what else though? That's just came to mind there. Wilson has forever been linked with a move to West Ham, hasn't he? So could we get that fee down? Could we give them 50, 55 plus Wilson, value of 50 and 20?
Nice.
Make up the numbers. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
He loves me Paul Mitchell's job.
Come on, Paul. Listen to the Magpie Channel podcast.
Special guest.
Some tips.
Got Paul Mitchell coming on the podcast next week. Haven't really, but you might one day. But yeah, Jonathan David from Lille is the latest link this afternoon. Is a striker to come in. And I do like that. Bowen, 40 million plus. Miggy says Lee Jones. I don't think they'd be happy with that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nah.
They used to see him Bowen on the right wing, and they give him Miggy.
That's half of business.
It'd be great. Brilliant from us.
Because if we could do that, then bloody hell. Well,
it would have been absolutely shafted there.
Give Paul Mitchell a knighthood if he can pull that one off.
Exactly. Let's talk about Paul Mitchell and Keg. We just jumbled up the whole run of the show, but why not? You know what I mean? He was appointed director of football a few days ago, out of the blue as well. Remember?
I know, yeah.
We did talk about him in this podcast a couple of months ago.
At work, I was like,
I know, it wasn't even a rumour, it wasn't even a Craig Hope exclusive again, or a Sky Sports, or anything, or an ITK. Mitchell's come to Newcastle in 40 hours, out of nowhere. He's done.
I love that.
Old school.
Like old school. I need rumours, need bloody embargoes, need negotiations. He's doing this, doing that. He's flying in. We've got plane tracking and all that shite. There's just bang announcement. Love it. Absolutely class.
Yeah, it was mint. It was like I was literally eating my breakfast, and I clicked on it, and I thought it was like some sort of
like a news
fake account or something, or just the start of a rumor. So Paul Mitchell's could be in line for it.
I think I'd done the same. I was at my desk at work, and it came through. I was like, "What the fuck's this about?"
And I was like, and I was huge fan of it. Brilliant news, great appointment. Remember, we did a video a few months back on potential director of footballers. Obviously, Dougie Freeman. He was one of our favourites. He was our favourite, I think.
Was the guy from Benfica, the Portuguese
Rui Patricio or something? He used to be a keeper him for the league.
Yeah, he was. He played for West Ham.
Portugal.
Wolves.
Penalty shootout.
Yeah.
It was Rui something.
Rui.
Yeah, the Roma director. Costa. The Benfica director. Obviously, Dougie Freeman was a front runner for a while, wasn't he? He turned it down. But Ashworth out. Mitchell in.
Yeah.
Solid, that.
Big fan of him.
I think that's great business.
I really do. And I didn't even realise it at the time, but apparently he was one of Man United's first options.
Turned that down as well.
They wanted him, but he said he was staying at wherever he was from at the time. Where's he come from? Was it Leipzig or?
He was last at Monaco in 2021. Pinto, Benny, thank you.
Pinto, that was it, really. So he's one of Man United's top guys. Then they settled for Ashworth, paid him out of his contract. Then we've swooped in and got their number one target. Love it. Absolutely class.
On that, really.
But yeah, regardless of the Man United slander, that's for them to worry about. Fuck them.
Yeah.
This is Newcastle. I think some of the business he's done over the past few years of his career, Tottenham, getting like Trippier from Burnley.
Exactly. Anybody want a Trippier then?
Mad business. Getting Son. Some even back to Leipzig. Some absolute class players. I probably completely out of the blue, like at the time would have been nobodies, and that's what Dan Ashworth was really good at, finding nobodies at Brighton and pulling them through and developing them and selling them on. Like some of his signings have been class, but also kind of mainstays. Like, and I know it's business and you have to think about the sell-on value, but a lot of the players that I've seen that him make have been like mainstays for years and been like key players. And that's what we want. I want to sign key players. It's going to help us win trophies. I don't want to sign someone like, ooh, I could sell him in a few years. Like, I want to win things with these players. Like, I don't want to like sell them on for profit in a few years' time. Like, that shouldn't be our mantle. And it's what we're probably going to have to do over the first few years. Like, obviously, we're still in the early days of this takeover and the project, and we need to build money. So, and that's the best way to do it. But ultimately, you want to buy players to be your players, your legends, like those players like your Shearers and your Milburns and your McDonalds. Like, that's what I want. I couldn't give a fuck about selling players. Like, I want legends. That's what I want. I want people to remember.
Because you look at the most successful teams in recent years, and it's easy to look at Man City and you talk about legends. They've got a statue now for David Silva.
Yeah.
I mean, Vincent Kompany.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne, who's still there.
Their history's only about 20 years old.
Well, exactly. So there's not many legends to choose from. But, they managed to keep that group of players together. Even Liverpool with Salah.
Yeah, they didn't sell a lot, really. Not anyone with any huge value or interest. Like, obviously, they did, like your Balotellis and your Dzekos and stuff like that, but they were just players to be there, like your Silvas and companies. Aguero as well, the absolute Spain on the teams,
Aye. And then if you do have to sell someone like, Liverpool did when the big money came in for Philippe Coutinho, you obviously got to get the right people in there to invest it properly. And that's what we have hopefully done with Paul Mitchell.
Yeah, absolutely.
His CV is very impressive. And they are having a meeting this weekend, Keg. The gang's getting back together. Anna Castle. And for a little tour of the castle, Harry Potter settings.
Nice, little flammy broomstick.
Aye, Hogwarts. They'll be there this weekend discussing all transfers. Obviously, we've seen a little clip on the Amazon documentary of them there. Amanda Stavely absolutely loves it, doesn't she? Oh, they're in Anna Castle. So they're meeting this weekend. What I'm going to say to you and the viewers at home as well, let us know, does this now change our targets and Mitchell coming in? Because all these names we've been linked with, your Bowens, your Mbuemos, these centre-backs that have been linked with, like Malik Diaw, Tomori, are these still going to be the agenda? Or is Mitchell coming in and saying, well, actually, I've been scouting these players the past 2 years, and actually he's a gem, and we should look at him, and maybe he could get him for a club price. What do you think the conversation is going to go like this weekend with Mitchell, Stavely, Gudusi, Downiels, and the rest of them?
And Eddie Howe's going to have a big say in that.
I hope so.
You can kind of look at it from both ways. And it's difficult, but that obviously has to be like a mutual understanding and agreement. And I don't think they would have hired someone if they couldn't like collaborate. So everyone's got to have that say. As you say, we've had these links. Eddie Howe's probably had a list for years of players that he wants. The backroom staff, like Merdads and Amandas and stuff, like they'll Darren Eales, they'll have their guys that they've been looking at, and probably where half of these rumors have come from. And that's where he'll come in and they'll present that and say like, and he can be like, yeah, I like him. I think we can go for him. Or he can maybe turn around and be like, all right, I kind of like that, but I've got this list of players that I like, and then they can kind of negotiate between them. So, yes, it can fray away from the links, like the players that you've just mentioned, or he could agree and help in that negotiation and making sure that them players actually sign on the dotted line. Or, yeah, we could absolutely flip the script and go after the guys that he wants. But regardless, as long as he can negotiate and actually get players to sign, that's the main thing. And that's what somebody in his position needs to be able to do. Because you look at, like, Lee Charnley's and who was that dick that Man United had a few years ago?
David Gill?
No, absolutely not David Gill. David Gill's the guy that you want. Fergie used to identify his players, and David Gill would hop on a plane and wouldn't come back until he had a fucking signature on a bit of paper. But it was the other guy that he was bald and all. He was kind of like, I can't remember his name. But anyway, they're chief executive for a few years.
Oh, I know who you mean now. It's going to do me head in the
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But between him and Charlie, they couldn't get that fucking mullet to sign a permission slip. Like they were both useless, and that's your job. Like you're a negotiator. If you want to sign players, go out and sign your fucking target. But yeah, their negotiation were absolutely awful. They were probably the two worst people in the Premier League with such like a high position. But yeah, I think Mitchell can sign players. His track record's proven it. Like he's nowhere near a Charnley. Ed Woodward.
Was that it?
Yeah. Them two were fucking hopeless. But yeah, as long as we haven't got a Woodward, we haven't got a Charnley, he can negotiate, haggle a deal, and first and foremost, get people to sign on the dotted line. That's what you need to do. And I believe he can do that, whether it's his targets, Eddie's targets, Amanda's targets, Eels' targets. It doesn't matter as long as he can get them signed.
Because I feel like next week, obviously the Euros will be over. We could be sitting here celebrating being European champions.
Could be.
How mad is that? We'll talk about that obviously later on. But we could also be leaning towards more transfer news and, things actually progressing realistically, because there isn't that long now till the season starts. We'll be in the middle of July. The players all
it is coming
back
again.
This week. When there's a major tournament, it seems like the summer flies, but next summer it'll be boring as hell. It seems like it takes forever. But the season's coming thick and fast. Obviously, we'll talk about that soon. But what I'm saying is next week, after this meeting on the weekend, after the Euros being finished, after Mitchell's been in the job for a week or two, will we start seeing some signings progress more than just a couple of old goalkeepers?
Maybe we might get a couple of young goalkeepers.
Well, goalkeepers everywhere.
But yeah, I believe so. Like it's a difficult time of year, and I do think people get on the high horses a bit because officially the transfer window didn't really open until the 1st of July.
Yeah,
we've only been open fucking 8-9 days,
and now it happens when there's a Euros or a World
Cup. And we've got major competitions like the Copa Americas going on as well. We've only just appointed a director of football. A couple of other teams like Ashworth's just officially got his job.
And now they're moving.
There's still like coaching appointments and things like that going on. I think this is about the time where action happens. I think anything pre-July, like May, June, is maybe a little bit premature, or it's a pre-arranged signing or someone that you've been targeting for ages, free agents, that kind of thing. But the actual business, like the actual big signings, probably come like end of July, early August. So I like once everyone's gone away, the Copa America ends, the Euros ends, then this is where the business is going to start happening within the next couple of weeks.
Because you mentioned Man U getting Ashraf, then they're putting in offers now for Branthwaite, putting offers for that Yolo, the other kid from France. They're moving now, and Chelsea are moving as always, aren't they? And
so when's the AMAC meeting this weekend? Is it?
This weekend.
I don't expect obviously anything to happen until then. I think this is where we're going to have to start negotiating, and that's where some concrete things will start happening. I say there's going to have to be some collaboration, a lot of conversations, a lot of targets identified and analysed, and for them to go, right, that's him, we'll go for him, and then that's where I think they'll start being aggressive come Monday.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously after the day after the final as well, so come Monday, Tuesday, that's where I think we'll start getting aggressive in the transfer market.
Because the will obviously have to start moving. I think Eddie Howe will obviously want players in by that Japan trip. And let's be real, that's about 3 weeks away. It's not far away at all, before they jet off to Tokyo. So we've got Hull before that. They've got that behind closed doors trip there to Germany, Adidas headquarters, where we're playing a couple of games. One of them is rumored to be against Leeds United. Behind closed doors friendlies. So, you want them to get bedded in. You're obviously going to have to get your players back. Bruno's on his way back.
When was you were there, weren't you, at the Ibrox last year? That was our first pre-season game, wasn't it? Our first look at Tonali. When was that?
I remember that. That was around like the 27th of July, I think.
Was it?
I'd have to look at my phone on the photos, but I'm sure it was like the 29th of July. We've got Hull on the 27th. Then they fly straight to Japan, and I think it's the 31st and the 3rd or something to play out there.
So they're what you look forward to, preseason friendly games are kind of boring, really, but ultimately, you get to see the new kit for the first time. You get to see the players, all the wearing the new kit and stuff.
Everyone's buzzing when Tonali walked out, shirt tucked in at the Ibrox. And the game, you're right, was very, very boring. It was still the second half was better.
But that's what you like. You like to see your new players and your newness, your new kits and whatever it is. Couldn't really get a fuck about the games, to be honest.
Yeah. Speak about the new kits soon as there's a couple of questions about that in the comments. Just rattle through a couple of questions here as well. Andrew saying, Depay on a free, what do you reckon?
Ooh.
Well, ask us after he probably scores a winner tomorrow night.
Because he hasn't looked at contract.
I didn't realise he's on a free, to be fair.
I took Depay, mate.
On a free.
100%.
He has. Thing is with Depay, he's looked all right in this Euros, but it's his end product, and lo and behold, touch wood, he ended up scoring a screen tomorrow night now. But no, I've said it. But, he's missed his chances. As a free, he's fucking definitely take him, that's an option.
Because he's had a spell in the Premier League, not long, a year, 2 years maybe. So I know he wasn't here long, but he's one of them that looks good abroad. Did he go to France initially, or did he go straight to Spain? Because I know he's played in Spain for a few years.
He was playing at Atletico last, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's played for a few teams. He was at Barcelona for a little while now.
Bit of a journeyman now, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it depends on the wage, because I think he'd want quite a big wage, but for especially a free transfer, because he's quite versatile now. He's a kind of striker that can't play down the middle, but left
9.
wing. Yeah, I'd take a shot on Depay. Like,
Well, hell yeah. Would you take Sancho? He's available for 40 million.
40? I'd take Sancho. Like,
Sancho on 40 million. He's
cheaper option than Bowen, but another one who struggled in the Premier League when given an opportunity. Looks amazing in Germany.
I know. Just pretend you're at the yellow wall. We'll have Gallagher end in yellows.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the price tag and the pressure of playing for a team like Man United, and obviously they're on a bit of a trying to research. Like obviously, like Man United still living in the shadows of the Fergie days. Like every transfer window, every big money signing, like this is it. Like Pogba's, Ibrahimovic's, Lukaku. Like everyone was like, we're back. When even the managers like Mourinho, everyone that they've had, like, man, it's back. We're gonna be fucking fuck yeah.
Sancho though,
Sancho.
I think they paid 70.
That's what I mean. I think the pressure of Man United and price tag was maybe a bit too much for him. Obviously, his relationship with Ten Hag didn't help. Maybe he couldn't just didn't fit and maybe just gel. But like I said, like that's why Ashworth's going, because the culture at Man United has just been dead. That isn't one. Yeah. Like from your Fergie days, where they were the best team in the world for 2-3 decades. They're just dead of culture. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. So yeah, maybe it's an opportunity at Newcastle where he's an upgrade over Almiron. Like we need a right winger, cheaper option than Bowen. Probably a bit younger and all, probably still early 20s, maybe he's 23, 24.
I think Howe could really get a tune out of Sancho.
And Eddie Howe is the kind of player, the kind of manager that develops players and makes them better. So yeah, I think he'd be a brilliant signing.
If you could get him on loan with an obligation, if you hit a certain criteria,
that would be nice.
Perfect, especially for a financial fair play and PSR. But
so I wouldn't imagine he signed quite a long contract with Man United.
2 years left.
Yeah, because he's been there 2 years maybe. Probably signed about 4 or 5 year deal.
4 or 5 year deal. So Dortmund want him back, but they don't want to pay 40 million. They haven't got much money. Juventus.
You fucking got 80 million from 2 years ago.
Juventus are interested, but again, they're a bit tight apparently. So yeah, maybe Newcastle are the ones that could swoosh in and make that happen. If not, sure, that teams will be sniffing.
I like that loan option. I do like that.
Risk-free.
Yeah, because it is. Because you don't know what he's going to be like. Like I say, he's had his opportunities in the Premier League and fucked it. So yeah, like there's no guarantees with him. Like I think 40 million would be worth the opportunity because it's not a lot of money in this day and age. Like we nearly spent that on Tino. Who's a young prospect. I know he's obviously came good, but yeah, 40 million, it's a lot of money, but also it's not 80 million. It's not the 60, 70 that we might have to pay for Bowen, if not more. So I think even 40 million is relatively risk-free, still a lot of money, but loan would be nice.
Nice. Greg's got a good idea. Greg Watson, get your mall bought.
I'd do that.
That'd be easy, wouldn't it?
Well, 20 million, is it?
He'd be dead cheap from Barcelona. Him as the best youngest player in the world. He'd be desperate to come to Newcastle.
I heard his dad's 7 years younger than Pepe.
Is it really?
I heard that. I don't know how true it is. But yeah, Pepe is obviously 41, 42. And I think his dad's only about 35.
Yeah, God, that's crazy. That people in the chat were telling me it's Ed Woodward.
That's it.
Let's just see what else you just saying before we move on to the next topic. Get rid of that because people are spamming the old chatsies.
Spam. They want any spam.
They want any spam, right? And everyone's telling us about the spam as well. Keys is off to Roma, says Simon. He was one that was a little cheap.
Yeah, I just seen the other day, actually, I was going to bring that up. I heard that they could be looking to offload him for about 25 million. But he's the kind of player, we've mentioned him multiple times over the past 23 weeks on this podcast, that, Chiesa would be a top target. But really, really good talent. And if they were looking to offload for 25 million, like we just spoke, I would take maybe 40 million on Sancho. Fucking right would I take 25 million on Chiesa. Jesus 100%. Christ.
That's a steal, that, like, isn't it?
But
it's more Prem teams on all over that. Like, there must be a reason.
Roma. I feel like you could do better than Roma.
I feel like you could do better than Roma as well, right?
So, yeah. So, where's Juve? It's just a bit of a downgrade, that, isn't it? Like, you're leaving Juve for Roma. When you could probably get into any Premier League team. Like, what do you do after?
Yeah, weird. Let's move on to the next topic. Keg, we talk about wingers. Let's talk about our very own Anthony Gordon, because the Evening Chronicle been getting a bit of stick, well, not a bit, absolutely loads of it, over the last couple of days because they've been publishing what's been described as a clickbaity headline saying that, Anthony Gordon's off to Chelsea, Liverpool's still on him, Man City now entered the race, and they've been crediting just crap websites, really, as sources that have just got nothing in it. So
bit dry on news, are you, Mr. Chronicle?
Yeah, a bit dry on the old funds, I think, wanting the clicks. Which, listen, Chronicle, I grew up with the Chronicle, buying it in the afternoon, reading it, the back of it, and, the Pink back in the day, the weekend, and that, Michael Owen scoring, I remember. And now, obviously, they've went online and stuff, and they try and do YouTube and that as well, and they're coming up with these things about the Chronicle. You kind of do these sources for Anthony Gordon. I think it's doing people unjust, and especially when a lot of people do still follow that, and now everyone's saying, I'm not buying it anymore, I've unfollowed them and everything. But them coming out and saying, Anthony Gordon, Chelsea are now in for him, Man City have entered the race. Absolute load of bollocks. Yeah. That people have came out and said, nah, not the case.
Yeah.
Not the case at all.
It is clickbait. And that was quite a few that I've seen this morning on Twitter, just saying something like images released of Gordon about his relationship with Gareth Southgate and his lack of minutes and stuff. Like, I was expecting I clicked on it, so they got my bit. I was expecting
you give them a few pence there.
Yeah, I was expecting to see like an image of him like in training. Maybe he's looking a bit tired or lethargic, or maybe he's just having like a row or something with somebody behind the scenes. But all it was pictures of the last game, like the one where he's outside the group.
Outside the huddle.
Yeah, outside the huddle. Like, that's all it was. I was like, mate, this information's fucking 4 days old. Like, what are you doing?
Literally last week's news.
Yeah.
Literally.
I was expecting to see some new information. I was like, what's going on with Gordon? Like, but nah, it was literally just that picture from last week that everyone was talking about.
The Chronicle will probably post tomorrow that he fell off his bike. 2 weeks ago.
His chin, he's got a big scab on his chin. What's he doing? Gareth Southgate hide the boot of him.
Gareth Southgate clashes with Anthony Gordon. Yeah, mental.
Shite crack.
Mental, yeah. I mean, we obviously talked about Anthony Gordon when the likes of Craig Hope and even Sky Sports then confirmed it, that he was approached by Liverpool. Fabrizio Romano came out and said it was kind of a tentative inquiry, if you like. There wasn't that much in it.
Yeah, I think everybody's entitled just to have a bit of a conversation. Like, we could ring up West Ham right now about Jarrod Bowen and be like,
should we? Let's do it now on the podcast.
Is he up for sale? Are you interested in talking? Like, what would your situation be? Like, everyone can do that. It doesn't mean, like, right, we're going to fucking sign him.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that there's, like, solid interest. It's just a general query, really. I mean, like I say, it's a business. Football is a business. Like, you've got to, like, have, like, lines in the fire of, like, potential signings and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean, like, Liverpool might have had an interest. Of course, they fucking had an interest. He's the best left wing in the Premier League.
I know, it's mad.
Everyone's interested.
And then they've even came out and said, actually, we've got loads of players that can play there. We don't want them.
Yeah.
And then Man City, are they going to come in? Chelsea? Nah, I'm not having that at all.
Bullshit.
Not having it at all. I think
also, you'd have to spend a big fat bag because we're not going to let him go.
The fattest of bags. Yeah. Like I've said in the title, Gordon's going nowhere. I fully believe Anthony Gordon will be here as a Newcastle player. Nice and fit 100%. Next season because Southgate's still not playing him.
Yeah, 9 minutes.
4 minutes or something this whole tournament, man. It's fucking mental. What do you make of Eze coming on instead of him? Even though, Eze's a good player and stuff, but everyone in the world can see that Gordon is the perfect left winger for England right now, to be direct, to pull people out of position, to run at them, take them on, score goals, assist, except from Southgate.
I think the only thing that I think, like, from the last game, was it the round of 16 game where he adapted like a sort of like wing back position as he played like left wing back and done a pretty good job. Like, I just think Gareth Southgate's just that narrow minded that I think that's his only thing, because I think that's kind of what Eze done again when he came on last time, like the kind of like adapt like a wing back thing. But I think Gordon could do that as well, because Gordon's a very physical player. Like, he gets back and helps his left back. Like, he's not like Maxi, for example. Maxi was a bit lazy, didn't really offer much defensively. Gordon's the complete opposite, and that's why we're flipped that. That's why we're sold Maxi, because Gordon can do that. Gordon could play that wing back position if you needed him to. Although it's pretty fucking stupid, like, having him kind of play that role. But I think that's maybe Southgate's thinking behind it. Maybe Eze can do that better than Gordon. I disagree, but again, like, why does it have to be wing back? Why don't you just fucking play him left wing, where he was the best player in his position last year?
I was surprised as well when he's not on the pitch to take a penalty. He took many penalties in Newcastle.
I was expecting him to come on last minute. Like,
Eze, I don't think. don't have trust in him to take a pen as such, really, to be honest with you. Especially compared to Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully, one positive, I suppose, is that he will be coming
injured.
back.
Apart from when he gets for a
Yeah, stay off the old...
Stay off the bikes, Anthony.
Stay off the BMXs there. Yeah.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah. Wear a helmet. Yeah, he actually was wearing a helmet. It still happened, he said.
No. Did he have the elbow pads on?
Nah, he didn't like
No,
he needs
you
the
need
knee
your
pads,
pads on,
the elbow
Anthony.
pads, all the pads.
Need a fucking shin pads on.
Shout out to Jabba Dabba Doo One,
Jabba Dabba Doo.
legend. Coining the tenner super chat there. Really appreciate that one. Put a cheeky bet on where we end up this season. I will do that for you as well, man. I'll tell you what, I'll put that on after the show. I'll screenshot it and we'll do it in the season preview.
Nice.
We'll put a bet on. We'll
I like it.
put it towards that, and then you can have a cut of it if it comes in. We'll go for something big. We'll go for Newcastle to win the FA Cup or something. Now I've said it, I'm going to have to put it on. Otherwise, it'll definitely come out. Right, next one. Talking about is the last couple on transfers. Funny enough, this came out. You mentioned goalkeepers. Seems like we always talk about goalkeepers.
We definitely need a goalkeeper.
We've only got 5.
I need at least 2 more.
And the one that was very likely to happen a couple weeks ago before your Odysseus and your John Ruddy came in was young James Trafford from Burnley. We know Newcastle had a bid of £16 million rejected. Burnley wanted 20 million. We pulled away from the deal. We've now since signed 2 goalkeepers in Odysseus from Forest and Ruddy from a free after he spelled at Birmingham City. However, numerous sources are saying that James Trafford deal could be revitalised. It isn't dead in the water.
Yeah.
That surely means, or does it keg, that Nick Pope could leave? Because why on earth do we need this many goalkeepers when we're not even in Europe?
Yeah, I mean,
1 game a week and we've got 5-6 keepers.
If we're still looking at another goalkeeper in number 1, like Trafford, or for argument's sake, Mamardashvili that we've been linked with, if we're going for any of them young number 1 caliber goalkeepers, not like Odysseus or John Ruddy's, you know, for a fucking fact they're not going to be number 1s. They're just backup at best, 3rd, 4th choices, maybe even in some cases.
Backup.
But yeah, if we're going for a number 1 like Trafford or Mamardashvili, you're going to have to move on. I mean, I think it's set in stone already that Dubravka's going to move on with the Odysseus and Ruddy signings. There's no point keeping them on. Mark Gillespie's just signed a new deal, so he's not going anywhere. You need to free up space. So I think Dubravka's definitely going to go.
Definitely.
But yeah, if we're still looking to add, then it only makes sense that Pope goes as well, because there's no point taking even 5 goalkeepers. So if we're sold Dubravka, signed Trafford, you've still got Pope, Odysseus, Gillespie, and Ruddy. So that's 6 goalkeepers. So we'll have to sell Pope, and then we're still down to 5? We'd still have 5. Would we? No, we wouldn't. Would that make sense? Is my math shit there?
Trafford, Odysseus, Ruddy, Gillespie. You'd have 4 there, but if you had Pope still, you'd have 5 at the minute. You'd have Dubravka 6.
You don't need 5. You don't need 5 goalkeepers. 4's more than enough.
You don't even need 4. We've got
You don't
1 game a week.
even need 4.
We're not even in the Conference League.
You don't need 4, but you definitely don't need 5.
Yeah.
So if we sign Trafford, we'll have to sell Pope and Dubravka, without a doubt.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Just be absolute balmy to carry 5-6 goalkeepers into a Premier League
And
season
the only
when
team
we're not in Europe.
The only team that is really heating up in the transfer window at the minute is Ipswich Town. They've made a couple of good signings of late. They're getting the young Delap from City. I think that's a really good move.
Are they signed him, are they? Oh,
nice. 15 million with 5 million add-ons.
Oh, really good.
Really good to deal that. And obviously Nick Pope, I mentioned it last week, so I had the debate, was he an Ipswich fan?
Yeah.
He is.
I did look at where Soam was, and yes, it is.
He is part of Ipswich Youth Academy there. You know, his family are season ticket holder and stuff at Ipswich Town. So if they move for him, which to be fair, would be another very solid signing for them.
We signed a year ago. He's 32 now.
Yeah.
What would you take from him?
As for 10 again, he's had 2 great seasons, hasn't he? I think 10 would be fair amount.
Not bad. So I think he's done well, and I think
more.
I was going to say, I think he's
10, 15.
Yeah, I think his transfer fee would have upgraded now that he's had like Champions League experience. Like
in the
when we
squad.
signed him, he got fucking relegated from Burnley.
Exactly. Yeah.
If anything, I know he's a couple of years older.
So could you look at this then? Will Mitchell, be thinking, well, if I can get 15 for Pope and I'm paying 20 for Trafford, who's obviously
I think that's amazing business. I think
Pope
still
still
maybe
maybe
get
Trafford?
3 million for Dubravka or something. So if you
So
got
then
18 million for
sell
two
those two,
goalkeepers,
you've essentially upgraded it.
yeah, if you got 18 million for two goalkeepers and St Trafford for 20, that would be outstanding business.
It would, but I think Trafford is still a risk because of how young he is and the inexperience.
I get that. So you'd maybe want like Pope or Dubravka is like a kind of like reliability. Yeah. I get that, but yeah, I think with Trafford he's got that potential. So and I think not having Champions League football might be a kind of good thing to give him this season if he came in as well week 1, number 1. That could be a good thing. And like I say, we haven't got Champions League, so even like cup games or something, you give him a bit of a rest. You put Odysseas or even Ruddy or Gillespie in for cup games, give him that break. But Premier League wise, he's already got a year's worth of experience. Didn't go too well because they got relegated, but you put him in a good team, a pretty solid defence as well.
Yeah, he has been judged at a relegated Burnley.
Yeah.
I think any keeper would have struggled there.
Yeah, and I think he's a good agent. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. So, yeah, I think I don't know. I think it could be a risk not having the quality of a Pope or Dubravka because them two are still miles better than Gillespie and Ruddy, I would say. Odysseas, I still don't really know anything about, to be honest. But he comes with a good reputation. He had a £60 million buyout clause and he played well for Benfica when he played over there. But yeah, it's just a bit of a mad situation. Like the fact that we've got ourselves into this situation by having 5 goalkeepers, having let Karius let go. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. But then still being in the market, even potentially having Trafford come in. Mental.
I think it would be mental spending that much on the goalkeeper position because I think we can probably get away with Pope for another year at least with
I think Pope needs upgraded, but as you say, he's good enough.
Aye.
And he's still
shoulders now,
still a decent age.
Unless you're going to splash out for a Mamadishvili at like a top class role and want to come in, I think getting someone else, it's not really where I would be focused on the budget at the minute. Like, we know we need a right winger, centre back, probably a striker.
It needs upgraded. Goalkeeper definitely needs upgraded.
To the next step.
Can it wait a year? Probably.
Yeah.
I think it could.
Unless we've got shitloads of money or get a big sale or whatever, then it's fine.
So again, if you sell 2 goalkeepers and get 18 million, like the Trafford, that pretty much pays for your Trafford if you get him for 20. But then again, if you pay, say, 35 for Mamadishvili, I think that's worth it. So I don't know. I think it depends what we're going to do with Pope and Dubravka, but either one of them, I think Trafford's got the potential. I think he'll be a very good goalkeeper in a few years. Mamadishvili is the one though. I'd pay the extra for him. I will just bring up, I think, a comment, and I think the last time we brought up James Trafford, there was a comment on one of our videos where someone raised a very good point. Like English goalkeepers, young English goalkeepers, have had huge reputations over the years, and that being like Jack Butland's. And who else? There was a couple of mentions. Like as we've always had potential in goalkeepers. Even Ramsdale being pushed out of both England and Arsenal. English goalkeepers don't tend to typically do that well. I mean, no disrespect to Pickford, he's been class for England, but is that the best we can do?
He keeps his pace because there's no...
Even when you go back, like look back over your past 20 years, David James, Paul Robinson, Rob Green. Our goalkeeper's been fucking shit. But I think apart from Joe Hart,
he was good at the start and he lost the plot.
Between Joe Hart and David Seaman, over the past 30 years, our goalkeeper's been shit.
And all of them, you just mentioned Seaman, all had a mistake in them and all. Keepers love a mistake, don't they? Love a mistake. But anyways, lots of keepers linked. See how many we're saying this summer. Okay, we've got a couple of quick kits to run through. I did a video the other day on the leaked images. Shout out Gallagher Shots again for that one on the away and third. The away is the remake of the 95-96. Yep. Maroon and blue number. And the third is white and green. Also a nod to the early 2000s.
Yeah, about 2000
there, with a nice little magpie channel. I mean, NFC crest on it as well there. Very similar to this logo on the kit. Are you a fan of them? Will you be buying them?
Am I a fan of them? Yes. Will I be buying them? No.
Can't afford them.
Yeah, got a fucking busy life. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah, got a child, got family, got fucking mortgages and shit. I mean, 5 years ago, would I be buying them? Probably. But now, no. But yeah, I do really like them. I think they're nice. I think we touched on them a couple of weeks ago. Like, there's pros and cons to the homage of the retro kits. A, it's unoriginal, sort of, but B, it's nice to look back on the good times, particularly both, obviously, Adidas kits. Like, they didn't go back on the Puma kits, did they? the old Adidas kits, some of our best ones, the nicest looking ones that they've ever made. Good times as well. Obviously, Shearer wore both kits.
Nostalgia.
Like, sexy kits. Like, obviously, the 96 one, unreal. The later one, about 2000. Nice kits, man. So, yeah, I like them, and I like the retro style. Obviously, the home kit's got like the old like sort of 70s, 80s logo on the back of the neck. Is the away one? I think the away one has as well, isn't
the away one, I think, may just have NFC written on it.
Is it?
I've been told that the third one's going to have a magpie on the back of it, on the top of the neck.
Oh, nice. But even like the third one having like the 80s logo on it, I really like that because quite a few teams have done that. I think Man United's one just had the devil on. I think a few other teams, I can't remember who. Arsenal just had the gun.
They've even got the home kit this year. Arsenal have got the gun on the home kit.
Yeah, it's not like the full logo, but either like a remade logo or an old school logo. I like it. I think it's different.
Yeah, I like the different touch.
Yeah, but yeah, it's different but the same, like same but different.
Same but different.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, big fan.
What a guy Jabba Dabba do one is, by the way. He sent a £5 super chat and then said, if the bet wins, put it towards your channel. I'm okay with that. Yeah. The percentage. What
cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, man. So yeah, the second and third kit designs are being leaked there. You can check out the video on the channel. And I like those kits as well. We'll go into more detail when they're officially released, which should be very soon, to be fair.
Have a proper look at them.
Yeah, I'll be there on crazy kit launch day.
It can't be too long away. At least even
they've got to come out before the start of the season, really, so the next 3
They
4
normally
weeks,
like spread them out. So I think
weeks.
the away kit's got to maybe be within the next 2 weeks, and the third one probably within the next month. Maybe.
I think the away kit might even be out this week. Keep an eye on that. Is it this Friday? Is it next Friday? Very, very soon. He makes a point there, man. You got the trefoil badge on their third kit. Apparently, we're not an elite club.
Who's that?
Ian, fortunately. So Adidas logo, the retro one from the 80s, 90s, like the stripes and the middle bit. Man, you've got that. Also got that. There's 6 clubs that have got it, and they're the elite clubs. So Adidas haven't deemed us elite enough to have the retro Adidas badge on the kit.
Didn't like Adidas anyway.
Shouting it. Bring back your store. Didn't mean it. Sorry. Mick's asking, what is the cap keg?
From Stetson.
There you go.
From the Well Western store, York.
There you go. What else we got on the topic keg? Because we're 52 minutes deep and the in-game is kicking off very soon.
Maybe halfway through now.
Aye, only halfway through now. We'll leave out the Mark Diao stuff. We'll go on to... Let's move on to Maxi and Mourinho, There could be a new partnership. As it came out last night, Alan Saint-Maximin's had enough of Saudi. Too hot for him.
Not surprised.
All the sweatbands, too much sweat on them. Can't afford the new ones. So he is on his way to Turkey. Apparently.
Is he on his way?
Oh, well, that's the rumours are heating up, saying that he's going to Fenerbahce.
I've heard the
Not
links.
official yet. Not official.
Yeah, I've heard the links and that Mourinho's a fan. And I get it. I think
he'll suit that league, won't he?
Oh, yeah. He'll tear it up.
Tear it up.
But I think Maxi's going to be one of many, like, along with your Jordan Hendersons, that are just going to get shite sick of Saudi. Realise that, it's a bit of a shit league, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the competition, bit shit.
Like, this weather and hospitality is amazing, but I tell you what, I'm playing in front of 300 people on there. Yeah.
I mean, my banks never looks better.
Aye.
But
the wife's happy. Kids happy.
That's all you go for. Like, even like the kind of the chic lifestyle that you're going to live, like, it's just not reality, man. Like, you need to fucking come back to reality, like, live in the real world a bit. Like, it's just not real over there, man. It's just insane.
True.
The heat, the standard of football, it's just shite. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why people have gone, but money is the one and only answer. There's no other reason than money. But he's been over there for a year, just over a year. 52 weeks of wages.
He's done a good job with it,
Sound.
Left Newcastle with Saudi. Quick year out there. Pay in the desert. A few quad bacon.
I mean, you can probably pay him some wages now. I'm sure Fenerbahce's got plenty of money. They haven't got
Mourinho
problems.
won't be on a cheap wage, I'll tell you that right now.
But yeah, I think that'll be a good move for him. And Mourinho has said he's a fan. So yeah, I think it's a good way for him out of Saudi. I think he's still good enough to play in most leagues. I think he could still do a job in most Premier League clubs. Any Italian, French team, I think he'd be absolutely class. But if Fenerbahce is your way out to play for one of the greatest managers of all time, then get yourself there, mate.
Not a bad move from him.
Yeah,
Went from Steve Bruce to Mourinho. what a jump that is.
Via Saudi.
Via Saudi, via a massive paycheck. He's fucking living the dream. Very well done to him. Well done, Maxi, son. Congratulations. He is winning. He is winning at life. But I tell you what, I want to petition to have a pre-season friendly against Fenerbahce now. Bring Mourinho at the Sir Bobby statue at St. James's.
Lovely.
Get them involved in the Salah Cup as well. Extend it.
Yeah.
Get another game involved. Get Maxi back. Get Mourinho back. I will be looking, I hope, that Fenerbahce do get some English competition in whatever European competition they're in this year. I'm sure they must have qualified for the Europa League or something like that.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Did they win the league? It was not like a three-day,
They lost on
three-team
the final
shootout.
day, did they not?
I can't remember who won. I'm sure it was like a three-team shootout, like going to the last game of the season. I'm sure someone won it on goal difference.
Was it not Galatasaray?
I can't remember. One of them.
Because with the manager probably would have stayed, wouldn't he? Unless he'd left. It was at time's up.
Can't remember who it was. Didn't really pay
But
too much
you
attention
know
to
they're
it,
always
but-
up there in the Turkish league. They're always in amongst the European competitions. So
Europa
hopefully
League, whatever.
they get a nice little game against Spurs, Liverpool, whoever, Aston Villa in the European competitions.
Mhm.
And we'll see Maxi back in England and on the highlight reel.
Yeah,
No doubt
love
about it. The players do return this weekend. There will be a couple of them coming back from tomorrow, Wednesday, on some individual plans. And by Friday, the majority of them will return for pre-season training. Obviously, no Gordon Trippier at the minute. Well, they might be getting back by then, to be fair. We'll get knocked out tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's true.
Bruno's obviously coming back. His Brazilian boys got
they're
knocked
out,
out on pens in the quarters of the Copa America. But a lot of the lads are back this Friday. Keg training commences. And we mentioned it earlier on in the podcast, that's came around quick, hasn't it?
Really?
Really
Yeah.
quick. And there's lots of
Mad
work to
quick.
be done there at Benton over the summer.
I do feel sorry for a lot of the players, particularly like Gordons and Bruno's. Actually, maybe not Gordon, but Bruno that played in Australia.
He's played so many matches, hasn't he?
Yeah, like you just haven't had a summer really.
Nah,
Like,
no break.
there's been no time off. I think them players, particularly like Bruno and Gordon, Trippier, should be given a couple of weeks off. Like it's mental.
Some of them do, to be fair.
Yeah,
I know Arsenal do it.
It makes sense. I mean, like I say, especially Gordon didn't, but Bruno, day after the last game of the Premier League season, flew other side of the world to play in a shite friendly. Then had to go to he's playing in America. It was Vegas they were playing in the other day. Then he's got to come back here, get back in ready for pre-season. Like, it's just mental. So
It should be managed because it's not just the physical demands; it's the mental as well. Man. Like, this is their job, and just like us,
tiring, going to time zone, mental. Man.
and just like us, they'll need a break, they need a holiday, they need a week of just lying in a sun lounge or doing out. You know what I mean? So
those that haven't been involved in international tournaments, then they'll come back first day. But likes of Gordon and your Brunos and Miggy, he's been away. Trippier, like they need a break.
I know they might get a break because obviously the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, they do it. So, for example, Saka is scheduled to get 3 weeks off, Robbie was saying. So whether England come home in a couple of days' time or next week if they win it, he's going to have 3 weeks off and he won't be travelling to America with Arsenal for their pre-season tour because Robbie's jetting off to America in a couple of weeks for flexing that for their pre-season tour. The likes of Saka and that won't. They're getting a 3-week break. So maybe
like
they'll be
Shaw,
doing that as
like
well.
he's just been knocked
Shaw
out.
as
Like
well,
he's had a long summer. Dubravka.
And he's spring chicken, is he, mate? Look at it. Handsome bastard, but he's he needs a break,
He's getting a bit grey though. He's getting
Oh,
the old
he is
grey silver fox. That's
Silver
the term.
Fox, Pardew.
Sexy.
There we go. Fenerbahce in the Champions League, says Foxy. Have a lot of qualifying rounds to get through. Mourinho will get them through them qualifiers on pens. Don't you worry about that. Right, and let's wrap things up with England. Actually, before we talk about England, let's quickly talk about ex-Mag.
Going to Wales.
Craig Bellamy Psycho Bollocks is now a manager.
He is, yeah.
Well, he's obviously been a manager before, briefly. He's been at Arnlek with company. He's been at Burnley with company. I think did he have a spell somewhere by himself as manager?
I don't know if he did. He's been highly regarded though.
He has.
Like
he did get offered the job now. He turned it down. At Burnley, he has took his native job at only 44 years old, so young for an national manager as well.
I like it. Yeah. Good move. Yeah, they moved on from their manager who
Rob Page.
Yeah. So he from starting with Gary Speed, RIP, like from when he first got that job, Wales were shite. But Speedo built them up. Then through Chris Coleman, Ryan Giggs, obviously massively helped by Gareth Bales and Aaron Ramsey's and people like that. Like they were a really, really good team. Got to the semis or quarters in Euro 16. They've dipped off a little bit now. But Bellamy, obviously ex-Welsh international. I think it's a good job for him.
Really good job.
He's highly regarded. I watched the
overlap.
The overlap, no, not the overlap. The other podcast that Gary Neville and Carragher and Keno do, and Ian Wright.
Is the overlap one?
Is it not the
Stick to football?
Stick to football. That Burnley's owner JJ Watt on.
The American.
Yeah, the American football player. And they were talking about him then. He says he's class. He loved Craig Bellamy. Like him and Vincent. Like he liked their connection and stuff. Like he says like.
He was mature, didn't he? Got it one time.
But I like that sort of thing about Craig Bellamy. Kind of like a Fergie. Like he can be like a pal, and he can probably like come down to your level and like be like a pal in that. But also, if you play shite or you're late to train, you'll absolutely bite your knees off.
You wouldn't want to be on Bellamy's hairdryer. Bellamy's hairdryer would be just as nasty as Fergie's.
Bellamy will have a nasty hairdryer. But I think you need to have that balance as a manager. You need to be able to like chin somebody, but also have the respect of everybody as well. So I think it's a great move from obviously coming from assistant manager to national job, massive job for him. And I think from where Page has taken Wales from likes of like your Coleman and your Giggs and stuff, he's got a big job in his hands. So good luck to you.
I think it'll go well for him, to be honest, because you mentioned it there. The respect will be commanded for him. Because he's one of Welsh's most successful players. Really, when you look at it, right up there. He's done
an
a lot.
awkward stage because they're still in the post-Bale phase.
Yeah.
And that's where they'll struggle. You'll obviously never replace Gareth Bale.
No chance. But they'll look up to Bellamy and they'll want to play for him. They will respect him. And they'll try their arse off for them. And I think he'll demand that. And I think they'll do all right with Bellamy in charge, to be fair. I think he will. On to England and Keg. Just a small matter of a semi-final happening in 24 hours' time, to be fair.
Something like that,
We'll find out in a couple of hours who they could potentially be facing in the final on Sunday night. So
10 minutes till kick-off.
England v Holland tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Remember, we will be here at Anarchy Brewery. Tickets, get them. They're on our social media. £5 includes a free beer and a prize entry to 24 cans of beer, T-shirts, loads of other good stuff in there. England then. They have somehow got their Keg. We have fluked our way to the semis. A penalty shootout win over the Swiss a few days ago. Yeah. We've only won one game in 90 minutes this tournament in the semi-final. The rest have been draws, and one was extra time, one was penalties. Yeah. But let's be honest, France are coming up against Spain tonight, and they've only scored, is it none or one open goal? One goal from open play. This tournament, France.
Oh, right.
France have only scored one goal, I think, from open play.
They were my tip at the beginning. They were my...
England were mine.
They were my team.
Still happening.
France have just fluked their way just as much as we have. They've been shite.
We've said Spain, and everyone's seen
Spain's been the best of the
favourites. But France are there. They've been probably worse than England.
Yeah.
England are there. Netherlands haven't
I don't rate Netherlands that much.
Remember, they finished third in their group.
Italy got beat in the round of 16, 2-0 by Switzerland. Germany weren't that good before they got knocked out. It's been a bit of a shit tournament, really, in that regard. Like, Spain have been the best team by far, but I'm still not overly impressed by them. But right now, they're clear favourites. They've got to beat France. And I think us and Netherlands, Jesus Christ. I can see what's scraping by. I think as much as I don't rate Netherlands, I think they're better than what we have shown to be. I think on paper, we're better. I think we're definitely the better team on paper. But overall from this tournament, I think they're better and should technically be the favourites. But now in Southgate, you'll fluke it. Well, you know how it is. We'll win the tournament in the same way Portugal did in 2016 because they won their first game and didn't win a game for the rest of the tournament. Won all of their knockout games, either in extra time or penalties. Drew their last two group games. Won their first group game, drew their next two. Then every other game was either decided by penalties or extra time.
Wow.
That's what Gareth Southgate did.
Who was the manager of Portugal then?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is that old guy with the grey hair and the receding, the top, the baldy top?
Possibly, I can't think.
Wasn't Scalari not there, was it?
I don't think he's Brazilian. I think he was Brazil manager when was it Phil Scalari? No, I think he was Brazil manager. And now it's Roberto Martinez, but back in 2016, I ain't got a fucking clue.
So my point is, and I'm not trying to be clever here, I don't know who it was either. No one's going to give a shit if we win it, no one's going to care who's Southgate or not.
Yeah.
This is the whole point. Like, if you win the trophy, everyone just looks now and says, Portugal 2016, they won it. No one's looking back and thinking...
It was Ronaldo.
Aye. No, I would have was because Ronaldo was second.
Yeah.
The bigger than that.
Ronaldo won that tournament.
If England win it, nobody's going to look back and go, aye, but remember when they drew against Denmark in the group? Nah.
Yeah.
And when they played shit against Slovakia and were 1-0 down? Nah, I don't. Remember it was Southgate and he wouldn't play Gordon? Nah, I don't. We won the first trophy in 60 years.
My fear is Southgate wins the tournament and gets an extension.
Aye, he will. He'll definitely get given the World Cup. And he'll get a statue and he'll get given a sir.
I think he'll already be a sir. If we get beat tomorrow, that's three
out of 4 semis.
3 out of 4 semis, 1 final. Best any England manager's ever done. Alf Ramsey was a sir.
Did win it though.
He did win it. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit different, but still, you'll get a knighthood. You'll probably go down as arguably the best manager with Alf Ramsey, if not second to him.
Which is mad.
Yeah. But yeah, so
you can't even have a shot on target in 85 minutes. And he's
fucking Slovakia didn't get a shot on target in 95 minutes, but best manager we've ever had.
Best manager in the world now.
With the best player from Spain, best player from Germany, best player from Italy, best player from...
Tony makes a great point there, saying Southgate is the international version of Ten Hag. He is, because again, look at what they did in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers them drawing 3-3 with Coventry in the semi-final and should have lost if it wasn't for a VAR decision.
True.
Nobody is ever going to look back at that and think, well, they drew a cut. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
So Southgate's contract's out in December, where we've got 6 more games. I think we've got 6 what's that called? The Europa Nations League thing, whatever it is. So yeah, group games, 3 home, 3 away. I think it's we've got Wales, one of the British teams. There's Ireland. I think we've got Ireland and 2 other teams. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he's got 6 games before his contract runs out at the end of this tournament. Whether we lose tomorrow, lose in the final, win the final. But yeah, my worry is that, but actually win the whole thing and he gets kept on, because that's a lot more years of boring football.
It is, but
is the win.
The win's more important. Aye. Honestly, we complain it's boring, it's a snooze fest, but at the end of the day, it's tournament football and it gets to the knockout football after the group stages.
So I think you'll get a 4-year contract. If we win, you'll get a 4-year contract. You'll get with the next World Cup and the next Euros.
Save the World Cup at least, And you know, it is on paper, it's hard to argue, but when you're watching it, it's very easy to argue.
Oh, yeah,
You know how crap and awful and boring
it is. But we're just bored and frustrated every single time. But like,
if you're getting there, it's hard to...
Say we win on penalties tomorrow and win on penalties in the final. Yeah, we'll celebrate because we won a major tournament, our first major tournament since 1966, but it's just shit. We're just bored. Like, it's not good. It's not good football. It's not entertaining.
What you can have is you can be entertaining and play attractive football like Austria and Turkey, and you can be sitting at home now with no chance of winning it. Do you know what I mean? So everyone was saying, Ralph Rangnick, what a job he's doing in Austria, playing great football. I'll tell you what they're doing now, sitting at home eating bolognese and watching the Spain game. Whereas we're potentially going to a final.
So do you want Southgate to be kept on?
No, I definitely don't. But I agree that he will be given
he will be kept
least,
on. Yeah,
but what he should do, but you won't, is he should leave on a high. He could. Everyone can forget. If we win the Euros, everyone would forget just how boring it was, and he would leave on a high. And he would be that manager that finally brought football home, that finally won a trophy since 1966, and then he could leave, and then he'd probably get a decent job after it. Well, but if he stays on in the next World Cup and he doesn't get luck like he has in every other tournament, and you get a tough group or tough knockout, and you play a decent team in the round of 16 of the quarters, and then you get knocked out, and then everyone's hammering you because you're still playing shit football and you're playing everyone out of position and nobody's doing well, then everyone's going to turn on you. But now, you could leave on a high, so you should be sensible and leave on a high, but I agree. It's a bit of
that would be best case scenario.
We'll
fluke it. We'll win the Euros and Southgate fucks off.
And you think nowadays, I'll ride in the sunset. Yeah, I've been here 8 years.
Yeah. That's best case scenario.
And then he can wait and take Ten Hag's job when he gets sacked from Man U. Yeah. He's been linked there, I think. His best pals are there. Brailsworth and
he's just signed a new contract though, isn't he, Ten Hag?
Aye, but it's only like 18 months extension or something, isn't it?
Oh, is this? I don't know.
It's not long. It's only until 2026 or something. So, so with Southgate, let's hope he does that. But I think for me, the FA, even now, if we get beat tomorrow night, they'll probably still have him in the World Cup. They probably think semi-final.
Yeah,
3 out of 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got kept on.
The
hope is he leaves in at least December. I'd like him to maybe resign immediately after the tournament.
Right.
But yeah, we're hoping that his contract runs out in December.
Fernando Santos was the manager, says Sensible Monica. I guess that was the Portuguese manager. Who
Oh,
the hell
really?
is Fernando Santos?
Never heard of him before.
Well, there you go. There you go. Let's finish off on a prediction, and I'm going to go, and by the way, pat yourself on the back for the penalty shout against Switzerland. Thank you very much. I'm going to go, and the worry is now is that Southgate will probably think, this plays right into my hands. I will play for a 0-0 because we're so good at penalties now.
Yeah.
I've got my 5 penalty takers. They're not going to miss one. Pickford will probably save one. I'm playing for 0-0s all the way at the final.
That's what he's done since Serbia.
That's what he did in the last series, to be fair, against Italy. He didn't even want to look me paper bends. But now that he knows these penalty takers are cold, he will probably do that. But I'm going to go probably 2-1 England tomorrow, and it could be extra time as well. It might not be 2-1 in 90, but I think we'll win 2-1
By the end of extra time.
by the end of extra time. Yeah.
Goal scorers?
I think Bellingham's going to score, and Luke Shaw just popped me head, so I'm going to go for him if he plays.
Goodness.
Maybe that was the reminiscence of the Italy final.
I was going to say, I think that was his one and only England
Actually,
goal.
no, you know it is. I think Foden's took a lot of hate in this one, and now he's in the 10, and he did score an offside goal. I'll go Foden, Bellingham, and I'll go Cody Gakpo will 100% score for Netherlands. He's having a great tournament. Cody Gakpo, getting windy in here.
I don't know. I think I would say we'll lose 2-1 or we'll win on pens.
Yeah, well, I think
if we go to penalties, I'll be confident.
Yeah, might have to say that, innit?
Even if it goes to extra time, because I think Southgate will absolutely shithouse his way. So if we get an extra time, I think we'll win.
You bring someone off the bench,
either in extra time or penalties, but I think we'll win. But I'd say we'll lose 2-1 in 90 minutes. But if we draw in 90 minutes, we'll win it one way or the other.
Let's hope so. Drop your score predictions for the big semi-final in the comments. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in live on YouTube. Thanks to everyone that's listening back on all audio platforms. We are on Spotify, Google, Apple Music, all of that. Check out Anarchy Brewery. The link is in the description there to head over, support War Flags, get some more beer in the process. Remember, here is the place to be as well to watch England hopefully get to the final. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself. Bye.